Hello and welcome to Fibertown. This is episode 87 and it's November 5th, 2014. Welcome! I'm Emily, Chain of Fools on Ravelry and Fibertown with an RE on Instagram and an RE on the blog, which is www.fibertown.blogspot.com. I'm glad you all are here today. I want to say thank you right off to the viewer who left a donation on the blog. There is a donate button. I don't mention it very much, but I want to say thank you because it's so appreciated. It helps pay for hosting fees and for postage for prizes to be sent out. And postage has gotten ridiculous in the past year. Am I right? You've probably noticed. First off, I have a giveaway. A very lovely viewer has designed a pattern. I believe it's her first. And it's Quilter Caroline, whose design handle is Clothesline Designs. And her design is called Never Shall Meet. And give me a sec because Ravelry just kicked me out. Never shall meet, where are you? Okay, I'm just going to put you in again. Oh, Ravelry, why you treat me so bad today? Okay, well, Quilter Caroline is graciously offering a giveaway of her new pattern, Never Shall Meet. It's a really gorgeous shawl knit out of fingering weight yarn. Let's see, how does she describe it? A shawl slash scarf knit on the bias, which uses 4-stitch patterns. It results in parallel lines, hence the name, Never Shall Meet. So there are two sizes. The smaller one, she says, is ideal for hand spun. It only needs 270 to 300 yards of fingering, but you get a 72-inch length shawl. So it sounds intriguing, and let me show you. Oh, I love the picture of this one. So pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous. Let's see, here's another one. Looks like she used hand spun. And that bottom one. Really beautiful. So I will open a thread and then we'll randomly pick a winner. So thank you, Quilter Caroline, Clothesline Designs. Beautiful first effort. Yay! Let's see. Oh, there is a coupon code running for my new patterns, Moorish mittens and hat. This is the hat. It's got this very elegant arched ribbing. And the mittens are fancy schmancy cable-y with that same, it's a minaret inspired cable. And then the back is plain with a little pearl detail on the thumb gusset. This is what they look like on. They look much better on, don't they? These were designed out of Unwind Yarn Company Targi, which is her Wanderlust worsted base. They knit up really fast despite the cabling, and they're super squishy and warm and very versatile. I have another version of these mitts that I'm going to show you in my FOs today. So the code for my viewers is FT Moorish, and that's lowercase. FTMOORISH. So check it out. Moorish Mittens and Hat by Fibertown Designs. My hair is already crazy enough today. I'm not putting it on. So yeah, check it out, please. And check out Dana's shop. She was lovely and provided the yarn support for that. That's Unwind Yarn Company. Okay, we have FOs, we have works in progress. We have spinning, weaving, and Ask Fibertown today. Alice is, I thought she'd join me, but she's decided to sleep on the fleece rug. IKEA used to sell these lamb's fleeces for like $20. Now they're crazy expensive, but she is taking advantage of one of those from when they used to be less expensive. I also have a gorgeous one that's medical grade that I got for my son when he was born. Because I read somewhere that, medical grade, I don't know what that means, but it was more expensive. But that in New Zealand in particular, that's sort of like the baby the baby mat that people roll up and take with them. Like you put your baby down on a lambskin if you're out somewhere, in a meeting, in a play group, and it's supposed to be therapeutic. So I also have that one still that, of course, and then they're great for the little naked baby picture on a lambskin, right? Anyway, so Alice is on one of them right now. So they're always good for your dogs when your babies grow up. Okay. Speaking of babies growing up, I knit a pair of Moorish-ish mittens for my daughter, who will be 12 this month. And they have the cuff, but they don't have any cabling. Wait a minute, that's backwards. So they have the arched elegant ribbing on the cuff, but I didn't think I had enough yarn. This was leftover Tess Superwash Merino. I didn't think I had enough yarn to do the cables, but she loves purple like her mama. So these are just plain on top. I left off the cable. I did the thumb gusset the same, and I did a different kind of decrease because the decrease on the Moorish mittens take into account the cable pattern with the pearls on each side of it. So yay! I have 2 of those. Those knit up so fast. And Tessa Superwash Merino is lovely. And this was left over. I knit her a sweater out of that she's grown out of. Hence the Jenny's cardigan that I will show you soon. I also have a hat that I cast on and finished yesterday. So you guys haven't seen this one yet, but it's out of handspun. I'm calling it Mint Chocolate Chip. This is out of Highland Handmaids. I don't know the base name. Of course, the ends are not woven in yet. But it's a really cool mixture of superwash merino, and silk. It's so squish and has a little bit of that silk feel to it. I don't know how to describe it. It's for my uncle, my knitworthy uncle. I knit him a hat last year for his birthday. She's got a big head, and he loved it. He loved the hat. So I was like, dude, you're knitworthy. He said that women came up and talked to him when he wore that hat. Anyway, I was like, women are attracted to hand-spun hats. Hand-spun, hand-knit. So this is for a gigantic head, but it looks good on me too, but it does have room. So I think he will love it. It's even softer than the one last year, which strangely was also knit out of Highland Handmade Sandspun. So his wife is very jealous of the hat. She's not jealous of the women talking to him, but I'm going to cast one on for her as well. Okay, what else? Oh, that's it for works in progress. I mean finished objects. So let me show you what's going on in terms of whips. Let's see. Let me show you my barn raising square that's on the needles. This is my 5th one. It's out of some scraps that were given to me by Swensty of the Fibertrack TV or Fibertrack podcast. And she gave me that lovely box of scraps, and I've been using hers as well as the scraps from my friend Yowza Stash Queen that I was given for my birthday. Okay, so this is Mad Tosh Sock, I believe. Isn't that pretty? This is the first non-crazy barn raising square I have knit. Ooh, look at my little skull stitch marker from Sarah Pomegranate. I got that at Rhinebeck. Come on, focus you. There. I don't have enough hands to hold up a hand behind it. All right, well, it's a skull. Take my word for it. Very, very pretty. I should knit on it a bit now. It's hard to knit on your podcast when it's just you and you don't have a co-host. I wish Alice could hold things. All right, so barn racing square, number 5. Let's see. So long as we're talking scrap blankets, let me show you my other one. Can you see this right here? I am very, very sad because my bag is starting to fall apart already. Grumpy. My Rhinebeck bag. Okay, I have made progress on this. I have not knit that many squares, although I did knit this one out of some hand spun Pigeon Roof Studios. That was the first three ply fingering that I have spun, and I knit socks out of it. And this one, I think this was from, yeah, it was a Stash Queen. Oh, no, that was from Fiber Trek. That's a Mad Tosh sock. And the big news is that I have I-corded all across the bottom. So no more provisional cast on scrap yarn hanging down. So I have my black Luette fingering across all of the bottom squares, and it's so attractive. So nice. There's my first square that I cast on. That was Gourmet Stash, Smoke and Mirrors. I did my test knit for her out, no, not test knit, sample knit for her out of that. And I have my little, I've started going up the side now, but not that much. So really, really nice. Can you tell I've been focusing more on this end? So that'll go back in my bag. It's a very fun knit. Still loving it. I thought I would get tired of this blanket. I think what I need to do is learn how to knit backwards. I used to know, but I haven't done it in ages, and it's one of those use it or lose it things, I think. Like, it's like the Kitchener. Like, I've done it so many times that I no longer have to look at the directions. So I need to get to that point with knitting backwards. But the blanket's getting bigger, and I just flipping it for the purl row, or not, there's no purling. Flipping it for the knit back row is getting to be an issue, and it's going to get worse once the blanket gets bigger. First world problems. Yes. Okay, so my last work in progress is the Ginny's cardigan. It's from the unofficial Harry Potter Knits. This is a really good magazine. You've seen this all before. This is the back. This is knit out of Classic Elite Princess, which I never remember the blend, but it's got a million things in it, including cashmere and Angora, but it's just a little soupçon of Angora that doesn't make anybody sneeze or get up your nose. So lovely. And her birthday is fast approaching, so I have ignored this for about 2 weeks, and I need to get back into the groove with it. So I've cast on the sleeve. Now this is like the third sleeve I've knit because the first two did not work out. And thank you, Pearl of the Pacific. She let me know that there is sort of, everyone has had an issue with the sleeve sizing. I can't say SL blends today. Don't know why. Okay, so third go. Third go at the sleeve. And I have sort of made up my own numbers for the sleeve. And silly me, I didn't cast on a multiple of 4 for the 2x2 ribbing, so I have a stretch of 4 purl stitches in a row right there. Can you see that? That's okay. It's at the beginning. It's where the increases will go. You won't notice it. So yeah, so I'm modifying the sleeves and should be fine. So I need to zoom on these guys. I'd like to have them both done. I'm going to try to be monogamous. I'd like to have them both done next week and then have them join to the yoke and finish up, because I have to do pockets. I have to do a button band. I have to sew some grosgrain ribbon in the button band. And I have to finish the yoke. So, little sleeve. Let's go. I'm knitting these on my collage 6s. And these are the square ones. I kind of like them. The finish doesn't last very long in my experience, although I'm kind of hard on my needles, but these are newer, so the finish tends to get chipped off and make little scratchy spots, which is not what you want. But I was having some issue with the tensioning of my purl stitches in this ribbing. I don't know why. And I thought, okay, the collage needles could help because they're supposed to make more even stitches. Due to their squareness. So I thought, why not? Let's give it a try. Are you admiring my Shield Maiden with my penannular brooch? Isn't that pretty? It's from Tuatha. I got it at Shenandoah, and I have my Shield Maiden. It's just outside at the bus stop. I have my Shield Maiden on today. Such a beautiful color. And one of my Edes, my gray one. I'm all cable all the time today. You should see the back of this thing. Ooh, cable. So, is that it? Okay, that's it for works in progress. I have some spinning. My Jacob fleece, purchased last spring at Maryland Sheep and Wool, is now 2/3 of the way done. The white is complete, and the mixed is complete. And this is about 700 yards of a 2-ply sport weight. I do not know what this will become. Perhaps a Monomania sweater by Ann Weaver. Perhaps a shawl. Oh, so I got this new soak wool wash at Rhinebeck, and I forgot to show that. It's the fig scent. I think it's kind of newer. It's my second favorite after Celebration. It's really nice though. So I'm about to fluff out these 2 bins of fiber. This is what's left of the fleece. It's washed, it's ready to go. I need to fluff them out and drum card them, and then I'll diz them off the drum carder for very nice roving to spin up. And then I'll be down 1 fleece. I need to start washing my new fleece. It's still in its bag, and I don't think I've ever gone this far without washing this long without washing a new fleece. I tend to get them cleaned up pretty quickly after they enter my stash. It's on the list. So that's part of my spinning. My other spinning is this Joanna Spring bat. Well, I call it a Joanna Spring bat, but it's Knit Spin Farm. She's on Etsy. And this was a mix of clouds and sun. Take a look. It was 3 ounces of all of these things. Blueface Leicester, Finn, Cheviot Falkland, Sari Silk, Silk, and Silk Noil. The Silk Noil is so fun. And I got 234 yards of a 2-ply. So a DK-ish, I guess, in most places. It's pretty. Hello? Come back. Camera, you are so slow. Anyway, let's give it something to focus on closer up. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. So lovely to spin. Just gorgeous. Washed up beautifully. That yellow part I really enjoyed spinning. It's like a deep goldy yellow. It's not as deep as you're seeing it on the screen, but it's a true gold, I think. Orangey yellow. This is going to be the cousin of this hat. I'm going to cast this on. This will be for my aunt. This was for my uncle. So that will be cast on soonish, probably right after my Ginny's cardigan, or my sleeves for that are done. That's it for spinning. You might recall that I had some ambitious plans for weaving that I talked about last week. Yes, I was going to weave a tartan scarf, shawl, wrap, and I did, sort of. Let me show you what I used first in the weaving. All hand spun, and I don't think did I show you this one? Was this finished last week? This was the camel Muga silk. It might have been. That I had half an ounce of Muga silk, cost me $15, and I had this baby camel. Oh, it's lovely. At any rate, I also have some hand spun Clun Forest from Knit Spin Farm. Boop. Hand spun Jacob, really dark Jacob, and hand spun Finn. Wait, yeah, two types of hand spun Finn. This is my hand spun Finn, which is hand dyed. I processed this from the fleece. The sheep's name was Burketta, so it's this weird dye job where I first dyed it blue, but it came out denim-y, which is not my thing, and then I over dyed it with black, and I got these areas of brown. The mysteries of dyeing. All right, so all of these colors together. See that? There's the gray too. 5 colors. I mapped out my plan for the warp. I warped my loom. I tried to be more diligent about using paper on the warp beam the whole way through. And what I think happened, again, is that I need help winding the warp beam. I'm like, oh, I can do it all by myself. And I think you really do need somebody there to hold the warp tight while you make sure that it's evenly wound on the warp beam and that the paper's evenly done. Yeah. So the weaving started out great because the tension was great, awesome at the beginning. And then as I made fabric and was winding it on the cloth beam and had to advance the warp, the shoddiness of my warping tension started to become apparent. It's fine at the beginning because I've got it all set up, but as you move that paper and you move the warp threads down, it's not terrible, but it was frustrating, and I need to really improve my weaving skills. Is that my phone? Hang on a second. Okay, so this is what I have. It's not horrible, and I think I'm going to use it as, I'm going to full it, because that's what you do to plaids in general. But it's definitely wavy in parts. Let me show you, like, was this the beginning? This is the beginning right here. It's very nice and straight. Oh, then look here, we start to get, this one's a little too close on this side. And then, because my outer warp threads seem to be tensioned tighter than my inner warp threads. And then, holy cow, it's probably not that evident on the screen, but trust me, in person, yeah. And I tried a bunch of fixes. I tried, weighting the warp threads, but most of the warp threads weren't tensioned correctly. So it wasn't like 1 or 2 and I could weight them. No, it was most of them. So now the thing is, I like the colors, but I do think that the blue gets lost with the dark Jacob. You can see a bit of contrast there, but I think I need a different color rather than that dark Jacob. Now you saw all of this, all of I'm missing the Muga silk. I have tons more of this, and I have a substantial amount of these, because this is the white, it's not used that much. And then the only yarn I'm not sure I have enough to do, I'm talking about doing a second go around, is the camel in Muga silk. So I might modify it and use fewer threads in the design for the camel. But the camel made it quite nice. So it's a totally hand spun. I'm going to full it in my sink. I'll rough it up in some hot water and soap. And I think it's going to cover my bedside table. Be a little table blanket. Table runner. So I'm going to look for an alternative to this dark Jacob, and perhaps I'll try again. Maybe a lighter blue would be nice. 2 types of blue. So that's the plan. Womp womp. And I'm gonna need to warp my looms better. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Not a total loss. I got a usable piece of fabric out of it. I had to stop the weaving early. I also don't think that the warp was going to be long enough, because I don't do the math. I guesstimate, and I don't think I can do that if I want to weave something usable. So that's that. I do have an Ask Fibertown today. So, ooh, goodness. I haven't talked very long yet. Let's see. Ask Fibertown. Alice, are you going to make an appearance today? Ooh. Let me tell a little Alice story while I pull up this question. A lot of you who follow us on Instagram, and that's not the we, that's Alice and myself. You might have seen that she was very sick on Monday night. She had her Lyme disease vaccine Monday morning, and she's had a reaction to that vaccine before, but it was just barfing. And And it was like a double protein vaccine that they have since discontinued. So she got the one protein vaccine, and I had pre-medicated her with Benadryl. And she was fine all day. And then I came home after an errand around dinner time, and the sweet, sweet doggie crawled to the front door. She could barely move, and she is incredibly exuberant, to the point of, oh my gosh, get out of my face, exuberant. Jumping, trying to French kiss you, and she just crawled and laid there like a little worm on the floor, just trembling, and all of her body, her muscles were like bunched up. And she was having a terrible reaction. She couldn't walk. She was in a lot of pain. So I scooped her up and took her to the vet, and steroids, Benadryl injection, pain. What did she get? I can't remember. Some pain medication. And she's better now, but it was scary, poor little thing. So I feel like she's kind of had a hangover from that. So she's decided to not even look in my direction when I say her name. Right, Alice? Nothing. Hello? Oh, I got some eyes. Alice, you want to come say hi? All right. Ask Fibertown. Okay, this is from Evil Twin 2, who's Rebecca, and she has a podcast, The Owl Knit With You. Hi, Rebecca. You should go check it out. Seriously? My iPad. Okay. Have you ever finished a sweater and found it to be too big? Okay, let me just answer that question first. No! My sweaters are never too big. They're always too small, because I think I'm smaller than I actually am, and I never pick the right size to knit. But that's just me. I still think I'm the size I was when I was 30. Okay. But if you do knit a sweater that's too big, what did you do to resize it? How did you avoid that in the future? Well, you pick the right size and you get gauge. And she said that she's trying to figure out how to fix old sweaters after taking the Fit to Flatter class on Craftsy. I do have an idea, and if you have an idea about how to fix sweaters that are too big, please leave a comment in the episode thread. But I'm going to give you an example here. Okay. So this is mattress stitched, right? This is my edit, and I should take it off, but I'm not going to take it. Trust me, you don't want me to take the sweater off. Okay, so you can see the seam right there, right? That has been mattress stitched. Right here. And what I did, when you mattress stitch, you just take, there's usually a seam, when your sweater is seamed, there's a stitch on the edge, it's called the selvage, that's meant to be taken up, meant to not factor in the sizing. It's meant to be stitched into the mattress stitch. If you had a sweater that was, and this one does not have this, because it's sort of knit in the round, not knit in the round, but it's not knit in pieces. It's the back and the sides together. But say you had, it was too big, and you've already seamed it. That's okay. You can pull out a mattress stitch seam pretty easily. But what you would do, instead of just taking that selvage stitch to do the mattress stitch, you might figure out how much you need to take in the circumference of your sweater, and you might do your mattress stitch 2 stitches in or 3 stitches in. It would mean you would have a bulkier mattress stitch seam, but it would decrease the circumference of your sweater. I think you could probably do this even if your sweater was knit in the round, although you might have issues around the armhole. I don't know. It would be worth a try if you're not able to wear the sweater because it's too big. But yeah, you can take in a lot of fabric with mattress stitch. Just be aware that you're going to have a seam that's a bit bulkier. But a couple extra stitches on either side might make a big difference. And you would want to play around with it. Start it out and then sort of eyeball how it's looking, and you can, as I said, pull it out really easily. I really like the Stitch and Bitch book, the original one for finishing techniques. It's the one I learned with, and I think it's visually and it explained well, both visually and in writing. I like the combination. Because if you're not sure how you're doing with one modality, say the visual, you can check it with the writing. Just the way you do sometimes with a chart in written instructions. If you feel like one of them is wrong, chances are the other one could be right. So it's like it's a built-in double checker kind of thing. So that's one thing you can do. I suppose you could even do that with sleeves if they're too big. Although I don't know if you could say the tops were too big, but the bottom of the sleeve was fine. I don't really know if you could do that just in part. Probably not. So I've also tightened up like necklines on sweaters that fit strangely by doing a crochet, like a single crochet around. I find that tightens things up quite a bit. So don't be afraid of getting out the crochet hook and seeing if you can save a garment with a little crochet. In fact, I need to do some buttonhole mending, and I think on my bare branches the buttonholes are just gaping, and I think I'm going to try to crochet around them, the interior. So yeah, I hope that helps. Let us know if you have other ideas about how to do sweater surgery, especially if the sweaters are too big. Yeah, and put it in the episode thread, and we can share. And thank you for sharing, Dutch Girl. Thank you for sharing your scrappy goodness ideas. She started a new thread with some ideas of patterns she's done, and feel free to do that at any time. If you've got stuff you want to talk about, start a thread. Hey, Al. I think I'm going to lie to her and say I have a cookie. Do you want to get a cookie? Come on, cookie girl. Whoa, she is just... We didn't even go for walkies that far today. Come on. I'm sorry. Alice says hi from afar. So, have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Take care.